What's up, people? It's Nature Girl 30 here, and this is my review for Live Smackdown, the Great American Bash for July 3rd. Happy July 4th to all those out there who are barbecuing and shooting off fireworks right now. I am doing it the day after Smackdown has actually aired. It aired yesterday. Today is July 4th. Happy Independence Day to all Americans that are out there who are barbecuing and having fun right now. So I'm going to get right into this review. I'm going to be honest. I actually thought that the opening segment was pretty fun, and they did a really good job in fitting the whole overall theme of Independence Day into the beginning. I have to say that I actually did like Alberto Del Rio's promo because it was kind of funny how they were kind of making a mockery of the whole Arizona thing, plus that Money in the Bank is going to be in Arizona, and since they have really terrible and huge immigration issues over there, that's pretty much where Santino Marella, not Santino Marella, Alberto Del Rio was going. That's pretty much where he was going, and the fact that he pretty much chose somebody out there, we all know he was a plant. But still, the fact that he actually did choose that guy, and kind of, I thought it was kind of funny saying, he had no papers, and said this is not Arizona, this is Texas. I actually thought that was pretty funny. And then having Sheamus come out as a hero, but then getting decimated at the end really did bring a lot more strength to Alberto Del Rio as a heel. And I think he did a really good job in putting him over further as a heel with the crowd, even though he really didn't need to get put over. But the fact of the matter is, it really did make him stronger. It really did make him a stronger opponent going into Money in the Bank. And that's one thing I really did agree with the outcome of that. And I'm going to go into my positives first. I actually did kind of like the whole overall theme with Santino Marella's match. Now, Santino Marella, who happens to be the U.S. champion right now, is representing the U.S. And having him being representative of the U.S., you have to have the legends that were actually the U.S. 20 years ago. You had Sergeant Slaughter and Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Hunico, Camacho, and Drew McIntyre. My brain just locked. But anyway, I actually did like that overall match. Sure, we all know they were going to be squashed because of the fact that these guys, it was pretty much Americans versus foreigners. That's pretty much what it was. Americans versus foreigners. And who became more triumphant? The Americans! So we all knew that was going to happen, But all in all, it was a pretty interesting match. I didn't mind it at all. It was actually pretty fun to me. Moving on from there, okay, the mixed tag match. Now, what is there to say about that? Really not much, except for the fact that I love Layla's new music. I really do. I love Layla's new music. I love what she stands for now. I love the fact that they're trying to take her further away from Lay Cool and trying to have her find her own identity as a champion. So I actually did like that. I enjoyed that. I do not like Antonio Cesaro's music. I don't like it at all. I had a chance to hear his music when he was out at FCW, but unfortunately, they made him really corny. I mean, I didn't like it at all. And him and Oksana, we all knew that match was going to last 2 seconds, probably less than a minute. But, it was pretty much the Great Khali and Layla being triumphant in that match. Moving on from there. Now, here's a match that kind of confuses me. They had a little segment beforehand showing Cody Rhodes talking to Tay Long, saying that he talked to the board of directors and that they approved him to have a second chance match for his spot to be in Money in the Bank. Now, the thing about it is, why didn't they just have him win in the first place? Like, they had the qualifying match last week, so why didn't they have him and David Otunga win and then have something happen to David Otunga to have him be put out? Because let's face it, David Otunga is going to get married. So we all know that he is not going to be able to be at Money in the Bank because he is marrying Jennifer Hudson. So that'll knock him out. So they should have just injured him and have him out of the match entirely, and then just have Cody Rhodes continue to go on. I'm wondering why they didn't do that in the first place, because having him as a second chance match just doesn't really seem right for the storyline, and really does seem unfair to anybody else who lost their matches. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really agree to the whole part of that storyline, but I have to say that any match you have with Christian is going to be a good match because he has great in-ring chemistry with anybody that he wrestles against. So, honestly, I thought they were going to put on a good match, which they did, and Cody Rhodes ended up winning, which was going to be predictable anyway. Now, here's a match that kind of makes me sad because I wish the outcome was different. Even though I love Dolph Ziggler, I really wanted A-Rod to win. Because A-Rod, just like how the announcers were saying, that this guy has untapped potential. He has a lot of potential. He has a lot of things going for him, and he needed that win. Let's face it, Dolph Ziggler, as much as I would love for him to be in Money in the Bank, and as much as I've actually been trying to, as much as I've been promoting this guy, saying that this guy has untapped talent, this guy should have been in the championship running a long time ago, and I still feel that way. But I really wish that A-Rod did win, because A-Rod, gosh, A-Rod really should have been in the Money in the Bank match. He should have been involved in it, period, because the guy really does have great potential. But as him being a champion yet, no. I mean, the build would not be right. And the build for Dolph Ziggler was a lot better and a lot more gradual than it would be with A-Rod. As much as I would love A-Rod being champion, the fact that I am a fan of A-Rod, it wouldn't be right storyline wise, and it wouldn't be like a lot of people wouldn't buy it. So I think that having him be champion now wouldn't work storyline wise. It wouldn't work. So I think that they actually did do a good job having Dolph Ziggler to be the champion, because his build has been great for the last few months. So it would fit for Dolph Ziggler to actually be in the championship running. So it makes me sad that they chose A-Rod to be his opponent, but at least A-Rod did look somewhat dominant. He didn't look weak going into that. It wasn't a squash match, which is good. Which means that if you're in a match with somebody who's pretty much on an up-and-comer, it's still good for you. So it's not entirely bad for A-Rod. And I really do think that we're going to see a lot more of A-Rod in the future. But it's pretty much Dolph Ziggler's game, and he is more than likely to actually win this thing. It's going to be between him and Cody. And that's how I'm seeing it. It's going to be between him and Cody. But moving on from there, I have to go into this, and as much as I really don't want to rant about it, because from anyone that's watched my reviews, they know how much I don't like this chick, and I said chick, so you know what I'm talking about. I mean AJ. Um, it's been far too much AJ on my screen. It's been far too much AJ in these storylines. It's been far too much AJ, period. And the ending of Raw was a monstrosity enough. The fact that AJ is in this feud, and the fact that they chose her to be the special guest referee, she is taking all the emphasis away from the title. This is supposed to be the heel, versus the face. To take the title away, or it's supposed to be all about the title. It's pretty much supposed to be about the title, who's going to win. It's supposed to be a lot more build going into that. And with AJ being in the middle, she is definitely watering down the entire feud. She is making the feud, she's downgrading the feud every time she comes out, and it's being too much about her. And the fact that Michael Cole tried to get in where he didn't fit in made it worse. And I'm sorry, I was so pissed off after watching this that it nearly took me out of the show. It pretty much did. I had to literally watch it again today to actually do this review. But anyway, moving on from there. I really did not like this at all. I thought it was stupid. And then going into the whole 20-man battle royal was dumb to me too. Because they could have had a lot more people to come out to be GMs besides actually having a battle royal to show it. And actually having Zack Ryder to be the next GM. I love me some Zack Ryder, but no. They could have had, for all people, they could have had to come back, was Eric Bischoff. Probably one of the best heel GMs there was. And the fact that he created the Elimination Chamber is enough. I mean, the guy is not on TNA anymore. He could have came out. Stephanie could have came back because she was the GM of SmackDown and of Raw at one time. They could have had my Adam Lee. But I think my Adam Lee was just only for Raw. The anonymous GM was only for Raw. But regardless, they could have had Stephanie come out. They could have had Vince McMahon actually be a GM. They could have had Eric freaking Bischoff to be a GM of both shows. They were just looking for previous GMs before, not just only for SmackDown, for previous GMs. So sure, they could have done my Adam Lee as well as for the anonymous GM. They could have had other GMs do it besides actually having that stupid match. But all in all, I have to say that, the segment with Damien Sandow in the back, the fact that he got annihilated by Zack Ryder was actually pretty entertaining, and the fact that Eve got a whole bunch of punch on her, like she was looking like Carrie, that was funny too. I have to say that SmackDown did a really good job trying to bring out the overall patriotic theme for the 4th of July, and I think they really did a good job with that. Some of the matches were entertaining. Some of the segments didn't make any sense to me, and the AJ segment, it really did put me off, as well as the main event. But I have to say, I have to give it a thumbs up. I had some fun watching it, and not only that, it was better than any of the Raws that I have seen in the past, and better than any of the SmackDowns I have seen in the past. They did a good job with this, and I have to say that I gave a thumbs up for that. Way to go, guys. It's your Nature Girl 30 signing off. Peace.